Greetings, everyone. Sometimes we put ourselves in positions where people disrespect us and we have ourselves to blame for it. In this video, I'm going to remind you that you really don't have to divulge too much information about your own life. And if you find yourself asking pressing questions to people that you're having conversations with, and these individuals are giving you one word answers, perhaps you might use some clue to acknowledge when people are saying to you, you're going too far. Okay? So, if people want to tell you their life story, you don't have to ask them any questions or pry into their personal business. And sometimes when you're going through certain things in your life and you divulge that information to people, they will only use it against you. So I would say, you have to know who you can trust. Over a period of time, you get to know people. And depending on your relationship and how close you are with those folks, you might feel comfortable sharing personal details and so on and so forth. Now, one of the reasons why I'm saying this or making this video is to say to especially Jamaicans who live abroad, stop telling Jamaican people not to leave Jamaica and not to, go overseas, wherever it is they want to go. It's their business. A lot of us have left Jamaica for a better life, and some of us have had to work very hard and struggled a lot to achieve certain things. And the thing about it is, I would always say the difference between the person who is rich and poor is always opportunity and chance. So if someone see the opportunity to leave Jamaica and go wherever in the world, stop telling them not to go to these parts, because they're, as they would say, their blessings might be there waiting for them. I don't really believe in luck, but you might have misfortune or unfortunate events in your life that prevent you from prospering, but these ones might just be going there to collect theirs. So, when they come to you and they're asking you, to sponsor them, and you're not in a position to sponsor these ones, you can tell them, I cannot help you. Like, a lot of times people have animosity towards people who live in Canada, for example, because they say, oh, you travel and you don't take your brother or your sister or wherever. But even if you're a parent, if your child past 21 years old, you will not be able to sponsor that child. But a lot of these persons don't really understand. I remember when I was, looking after my immigration papers to come here, there are people who were talking about me behind my back. My own relatives were congregating with other people and speaking ill about the fact that it was taking so long. I remember one of my so-called siblings saying to me that some lady that she knows, that wasn't married, got a visa to come to Canada, and she didn't have to wait. So what she was really saying to me is like, oh, you sit there and wait for this person to sponsor you, because it's not going to happen. Because that's what they were talking. And so the Spirit would always have these people expose themselves. Whereas when you're just going for a visa, that could take a couple weeks. When you're going to the sponsorship program, it could take anywhere from a year, and some people 2-3 years, so don't really pay attention to these ones. And once you leave, the shameful thing about it is the very ones who mock you and chat you behind your back when you're in your immigration journey, talk behind your back and say that you're not leaving and mocking you and whatever, they have no shame. If I was saying somebody who is, married, is their partner is not taking them and talking behind their back and mocking them, and when I see these ones finally get their paper because they're patient and they wait and they're finally traveled, I would never be able to bring it, to go pester these persons for anything. Sometimes when people migrate from Jamaica, it takes a long time for them to get settled in terms of their finances. And a lot of time they have to do SHIT wide work that some people in Jamaica would never do. And so when they're going through that hardship they might relate to friends or relatives or whatever that they're going through a rough time. Because, some people go through a rough time before they get settled, as I said earlier. But when you tell these ones, they think you're trying to discourage them from traveling. When you say, oh, this is rough day time for me, or I have this unfortunate situation, they think you're trying to discourage them. It's best that you don't share your hard stories or your struggles with people in Jamaica, because they'll find a way to make it seem like you're doing a bad thing. Unfortunately, a lot of these persons have no empathy. They have no ability to care for anybody except for themselves. So when you are talking about your hardship and you're looking for someone to just listen to you and to empathize with you, they cannot. They see you're talking about your problems or your situation as a problem because they want to talk about theirs. And so I've had people in the past who said to me, whenever these people call with their problems, talk about yours. And I didn't quite understand it. And nowadays, you see people literally making videos about, saying people are bad mind. People live in America or Canada or England or wherever in the world they live. They're bad mind when they tell people about their hardship. I don't understand how bad mind come into this. I don't get it. Bad mind isn't bad mind envying someone for something that they have. You want it for yourself and is upset that they have it. It seems like it's the reverse. The ones who are telling you that because you're complaining about your experience and it may not be a positive one, that you're bad mind. So to avoid being called bad mind, do not discourage anybody or share your bad luck or your hard luck story with these ones. The way you came to the Canada or America or England or wherever, they can come too. And if it is in their destiny to travel, they will travel. If you had to look a man to go to America or they have to look a woman to go to America, let them do the same thing. It's not your business if they go there and they're not having a great time. Let them do whatever. Do not discourage them. And sometimes you're not really discouraging them. Sometimes you are just talking about your experiences and they misread that. There are times when you're sharing your stories with people in Jamaica and they will tell you, and this is a clue to know to shut your mouth and stop telling them anything about your life. When they say, well, if it was so hard, why are you still there? This is a 1, 2, 3 punch in the gut. It's a deep cut. It's an insult. And once people say these things to you, you use that to mark your conversation with these ones. When you are not living anywhere, it's going to be beautiful. It's going to be green. It's going to be lush. We know that there are many people who have left Jamaica and traveled to these parts and they fall into depression. There are individuals who come here and just have some terrible experiences. They were far better when they were in Jamaica. They had their homes. I would think some of it is bad mind. Some of these persons have their home, have their career, and they give it all up because they see people come to Jamaica, and I guess people who live in foreign get respect, and they want respect. They don't want security. They don't want stability. They don't want what they already have. They want the grass is greener on the other side. I want to come get some of that good stuff. And some, in the process of wanting to get some of the good stuff, do get the good stuff, and some completely wreck their whole lives. People give up their home and give up their life and their career in Jamaica only to find themselves in these places full of stress and their life cut short. But that is not your problem. If the person reach out and say, I'm thinking of leaving Jamaica, I want to get rid of my home, you neither encourage or discourage, because the same ones that say these things to you and you encourage them, they'll turn around when their life is in pure chaos in foreign and say that you bad mind them and you encourage them to sell their place and get rid of their wonderful life. Even if the life wasn't so wonderful in Jamaica, when it's not going so well, they're going to blame you, right? And again, if you try to share your experiences and try to tell them to operate with caution, they will still say that you are jealous of them or you're bad mind or you're no good. This world is made for all of us. I really think you should be able to travel around the world and experience all kinds of things. Let people do what they need to do. Let people go according to their destiny and live their own life. I don't need to tell anybody that life is hard in Canada. I don't need to tell anybody what is happening to me. Listen, over the years when I was here for 30 something years, I never shared my story and tell people what was happening with me because it doesn't make a difference. They can't help me, so I don't need to tell them what is happening with me. Okay. Sometimes they put their whole expectations on you making it happen for them, and if you're in a position to do so, do so. In America, you can sponsor your siblings, you can sponsor your parents, you can take your grandkids. It's a whole different ball game here in Canada, so if you can help your family for a better life, you help them. Okay. But if you see them doing what they need to do to help themselves and they want to travel, encourage them to pursue a better life. There was a time in the past when I would encourage somebody, to do whatever it is they need to better their lives. I still feel that way now. And there was also a time when I wanted to do matchmaking for people. Now I'm a little bit nervous because when things don't work out, oftentimes the person who, you encourage to get involved with other people, they'll blame you. So I'm a little bit nervous about that. Life is for living. And wherever you are in the world, you can make good of that situation. Before I end this video, I'm going to say I had a teaching position in Jamaica. And when I would go to work in the morning, I would pass those people sitting at the gate selling their wares, candies and chips and toys for the kids. And there are times when I felt this a kind of envy. It just looks so laid back, and I love kids. So the kids are always going to these ladies, getting their lunches or getting their toys or whatever. And there are times when I felt like I would have traded places with those persons. I love teaching, but there's something about selling, that I enjoy. And one day I'll do a story time to tell you how I was able to sell oranges and fruits and different things at the school where I was teaching, and made enough money to bring 40 kids on a school trip, all expenses paid, from just selling fruits. I felt like I was a real higgler. I love that feeling. I love business. I like selling. Although sometimes my partner says half of my profit goes to charity or giving to people. But there's something about being able to, exchange services or goods. When the people get it and they buy the product from you, and they're enjoying it, there's certain satisfaction. I make money and the person gets a service or goods or something that they really enjoy. Nice. So yeah, to end this video, I'm saying when people want to go away, when they want to travel, and they tell you of their interest. Now, if they say they're asking you to sponsor them and you're not in a position to do so, you can say you're not able to help them for whatever reason, or you just don't have to say anything to people. People should put themselves in position to do what they need to do. And if you can help them, then that's wonderful. But there's no point in having these long conversations with people about what you're going through, snowstorms, sleet and rain. We all know that. But some people will not understand it until they experience it for themselves. And for some reason, we have a backward way of thinking. Our people, once they want something, they don't give two pennies what you're going through, what you're thinking, what you're experiencing. And they will always give you that 1, 2, 3 jab by saying, if your life was so horrible, why are you still there? That sounds like bad mind to me, because it's like the person essentially say to you, because I'm not there and you're not happy where you're at, then that means you should be here with me. And that is just not cool. Let them find their way. Let them go and do whatever they want to do. You might not be happy. They might come and find a different experience than yourself. Okay? So just wish everybody well. And you continue to put in the work, and you don't accept defeat. You just say to yourself, listen, I can achieve all things if I set my mind to it. Focus on you. Your job is not to rescue anybody or to deliver anybody. Your job is to find your path in life and to deliver yourself, to make use of the opportunities that come to you. And again, like I said, if you're in a position to help somebody and you want to, you do so because you want to, not because you're forced, or not because you think you're going to be judged, or not because you think people are going to hate you. People who love you are going to love you regardless. If people are only going to love you because of what you're going to do for them, that is not real love. Love is unconditional. Unconditional. Okay. And if you want to help somebody, sometimes it's only a matter of time before you can do things for people. Sometimes you have the best interest or intention, but you're just not in the position. There are places in New York City where people are paying a huge amount of money for rent, and it literally looks like somebody's cupboard or closet. But it doesn't make any sense. You explain it to these ones, they'll never get it. And the truth of a fact, we need to stop living our life to please other persons. Stop living our life to try to impress other people, trying to tell them stories to make them like you. If they don't like you, they're not going to like you. Stay blessed.